And let's be honest, Joaquin Buckley, since his fight with Ipakasanganai, has looked like a totally different fighter. If you've been a fighter before, you're only as good as your last fight.
Yeah, well,
And that's the same. And his performance his last fight does not fare well against Joaquin Buckley. All right, hey, we've got some great fights this weekend. We've got Colby Covington making his return to the cage against Joaquin Buckley. John, stylistically, to me, this is a fun fight because, look, we saw what Colby did in his last fight against Leon. He just didn't look the same. Is he just there to collect a check now? Basically, keep the mouthpiece going? Is he like that now?
No, I don't think so.
No?
No, I don't think so. I don't think that's who Colby Covington is.
Are we going to see vintage Colby Covington that wrestles, though? Because he didn't wrestle at all against Leon.
Like, that's the question. When you're looking at it, Colby is now, 36 years of age? And I'm telling you something about, that 170 down. 36 is a age that some guys start to tail off a little bit. Maybe, I'm not saying it's him, but he's always had a gas tank. He's always been that guy that's been able to utilize his wrestling to take people down and just grind on them. And in his last performance, it was anything but. Now, he said he had an injury. He broke his foot. I'm not going to sit there and say that's not true.
He was swollen like a balloon. It was swollen like a
balloon. But, I mean, you take a look and you go, everything that he's done in the past tells me he's got a gas tank. He can wrestle. So that means he has a chance at beating a lot of people. Joaquin Buckley, and this is, everything's about career paths and where you're climbing or if you're declining. And right now, Joaquin Buckley has been on the incline, getting better and better with every performance, looking good, moving up in the rankings. And Colby's that guy that's trying to hold on to that ranking. He wants to still be in that position to possibly get one more chance at putting the belt around his waist, the undisputed one, because he was the interim. But this is going to say a lot, and I do think it's a fun fight. I think you're right. I think it's an interesting fight because if there's one thing about Buckley, first off, he's fast, he's physically strong, and he's got a good gas tank. Now, I have seen him get tired earlier on in his career, but he has seemed to have worked his way past those problems, and I haven't seen it lately. So he's a guy that, all the things that you're looking at when you're looking to say who's going to win the fight, most of them are pointing towards Joaquin, except for the reputation that Colby Covington has.
Yeah, I'm going to actually say that Joaquin Buckley wins this fight as well. And the reason why I'm going to say he's going to win, and this is no dig at Colby, until I see a different Colby Covington, a younger version of a Colby Covington, I'm only going based off, and everyone knows this, if you've been a fighter before, you're only as good as your last fight.
Yeah, well.
And that's the same. And his performance his last fight does not fare well against Joaquin Buckley. And let's be honest, Joaquin Buckley, since his fight with Ipakasanganai, has looked like a totally different fighter. That spinning knockout, whatever, that gave him, I believe, the confidence, John. And we talk about confidence all the time on this show because I've got plenty of it. And so when I talk about it, because I'm speaking from experience. If your confidence is low, and I've walked into fights going, man, I don't know about this fight, and it comes through. It showed through every single time. This is a man who's on a mission. He understood. After that, remember him dropping down to 70, fighting guys at 70, understanding that, look, I don't need to be at 85. I'm too small for 85. Sure, I'm fast, I'm explosive, but these guys are monsters at 85. Let me go to 70. Let me take this serious. And look what he's done since doing that. I think that he's got a really good chance of getting this win. He's got a great sprawl. He's good at getting up to his feet. He's a lot faster and a lot more explosive than Colby Covington. And the one thing I can definitely speak from experience on is at 36 years old, it's not as easy to wrestle. It's just not. The drive, the push, the muscle fatigue. It's different at 36, 37, pushing into that 38. The only guy I've ever seen ever really get it done in wrestling at that age. Go ahead, name him.
No.
He's your buddy.
You're gonna just give him one more thing. I'm the one saying that he's ruined everything, and you're the one now giving him a pat on the back. But
he did,
and he was amazing, and it's just. But see, and it is. I don't care what anyone says. People look and they say, "Well, Randy did it." It's a different human being, man. And it's not an easy thing to do, man. It is just incredibly difficult. You have to live a pretty structured life to keep yourself at that age in that position. Not everyone can do it. And we see it time and time again. Take a look at, just last week, what we're looking at with some of the fights and guys that we knew were great fighters at one time. They're just not the same. And they can't perform the same. They can't train the same. It's just, Father Time. He's a sumbitch.
John, if I'm looking at the odds though too, the odds kind of take what we had to say into consideration, because Joaquin Buckley is a -280 and Colby Covington is a +220. That's a little disrespect though, I think, for Colby Covington.
No, you can't say that though.
That's disrespect, John.
It's not. You got one guy's on a 5-fight win streak, while the other one has lost
a 5-fight win streak,
more fights than he's won in the last 5.
I want to say against nobody, but he's got 5-fight win streak against guys that are nowhere near the level of the guys that Colby's been fighting. Now, you know me, man. I lay it down straight when it comes to Colby Covington, and all the fans in here, they also know. They're like, man, you're a Colby hater. No, in this realm right here, I feel like a little disrespected by Colby Covington. That I feel like they disrespected him. +220, John, and a -280 for Joaquin Buckley.
Yeah.
Oof.
Yeah.
Oof.
That tells you something, though.
What does it tell you?
It tells you that the odds makers are looking at the same thing that you and I are looking at. I got one fighter who's getting a little bit older. He has not performed well in his last fight. Even the one before that against Masvidal, look, he can't finish. And that's a big problem.
Yeah.
With not being able to finish in the fights. Because when you have someone like Buckley, he has the power to put you away at any time. So, just as those rounds go by, if you're winning them, you could still lose the fight with one shot. And
the thing with Buckley's so tricky too. Like one second he'll be throwing big shots at you, and next second he'll be trying to like power bomb you. Okay, like he's just gonna try to blast W into the fence, scoop you, lift you, and slam you.
And I think he will. I think he will absolutely at some point be taking Colby down during the fight.
Yeah, because I like I said, the explosiveness from Joaquin Buckley is gonna leave Colby Covington a little bit out there on an island, but he's gonna just feel like he's stuck out there going, man, this guy's all over the place. He doesn't fight one way. He throws heavy shots, big kicks, all these things, and all of a sudden now he's double legging me and blasting me across the cage. And when he doesn't get it, he comes back out and throws big shots against my body. Again, he's just doing it all. He poses a threat. Look, we probably would have thought we would have seen from someone like a Leon Edwards, but Leon's fight's very composed, very, very methodical. He picks and chooses his shots.
Yeah, he does.
He's very slick on the feet, very fast. Joaquin Buckley's very fast and explosive as well, but just doesn't fight that way. He fights balls to the wall, 100 miles an hour, and he'll take chances and risk. And that's something that Colby, he can either capitalize on with his wrestling, or he can shy away from it, which is what he did against Leon, which makes me believe the odds got it right, but I felt like it's still a little bit disrespectful to Colby Covington. +220, that's a lot. That's a lot, John.
What in my opinion, what it's doing is they're setting up trying to get people to bet a certain way too.
Oh, you might be right there.
Let's be honest.
You're right. I mean, look,
if Colby comes to bring those bets in that way, and that way, look, they're all about the space in between the VIG. But if you can get people motivated towards going towards that person, that's what your job as an odds maker is.
John, let's take a look at this though. Look at the guys, okay? His guys. Look, he fought RDA. He fought Robbie Lawler. He fought Kamaru
he fought RDA at what year?
When did he fight RDA?
2018.
2018.
Okay.
Fought Robbie Lawler in 2019. Fought Usman in 2019. Fought Tyron Woodley in 2020.
Every one of those, an older fighter.
Yeah. Every single one of them. Usman. I mean, Usman, it wasn't super old. It's not super old.
He lost to him too.
Yeah, no, I know he lost to him.
Okay.
But what he didn't do though with Usman in both his fights, he didn't wrestle, John.
Because he wasn't going to out wrestle Usman.
But my point is though, is that when you
no matter what this says, doing it in the cage is a different thing.
Yeah. And then the wrestling against Masvidal, sure, he was able to wrestle, but he had no other answers for that. He was just hanging on him, kind of just wearing on him, light shots, kind of like the little rabbit punch shots. That's about it. And then he fought Leon, didn't wrestle at all. I think the speed had something to do with that. Leon's slickness and the speed. Yeah.
Which is exactly what he's going to be looking at with Buckley.
Yeah.
He's looking at a physically more stout and physically more powerful person than Leon.
But someone that doesn't leave, but Leon doesn't leave himself.
Leon is slicker.
Yes.
Exactly. Leon is slicker. And Buckley will get into the brawl at a time, sometimes, but he's been getting away from that and been very good with his footwork.
Yeah.
His creating of angles. That's why he's been getting the wins. He's a guy that you can sit there and say whatever you want. He looked really good against Stephen Thompson. He looked really good against, I want to say Rozabov.
Okay.
Who is has a great record, is a good fighter. And he looked good against Vicente Luque, who looked really good just, this last week. So
yeah,
he's been fighting guys that you look and Stephen Thompson's a little bit older. I understand, but Stephen is still that guy that he's hard to deal with. He's fast and he's faster than Colby.
Yeah.
And I just look at this. This is going to be a difficult fight for Colby. I'm not saying he can't win. If he can get his wrestling going and take Buckley down and wear on him, that's his road to victory.
This episode is brought to you by BetUS. Make sure you guys YouTube 150 for the promo code. Also, Element, use the link in the descriptions down below. Any product you buy from there, they will send you a bonus package of product if you use our link down below. Element's amazing, man. I love it. And I want to say thank you, man. Thank you guys so much for continuing to support us.